From the front porch, Laura Gretchell watched her neighbor's SUV head off down the long driveway. Calling Patty Bellini her neighbor was kind of a stretch, because Patty lived a half-mile away. But the addresses were spread far apart on this rural road, and the Bellinis were indeed on the next lot down. Laura and her husband, Sean, lived on a vineyard/winery they'd bought 4 months ago with his inheritance. They'd named the wine brand after Sean's late father, Gerard's Cove. Until this past spring, the only thing Laura had known about managing a winery was what she'd picked up from Falcon Crest reruns. Their 3 children seemed to have adjusted well to the move from Seattle. Sophie, 16, and Liam, 12, had just caught the buses to their respective new schools about an hour ago. They'd inherited Laura's brown hair and skinny frame. James, 4, took after his father with sandy-colored hair and a sturdy body. James was in preschool with Patty's son, Leo. Laura and Patty took turns driving the boys back and forth. Laura waved goodbye to James and then stepped back inside her 3-story farmhouse. Built in the 1930s, the house looked like something from an Edward Hopper painting. The dining room had a built-in hutch and the original Art Deco overhead light fixture. But the kitchen must have been updated about 20 years ago with black appliances, pale green marble countertops, and cherrywood cabinets. Laura thought it looked ugly as sin, as her grandmother used to say. Unfortunately, all those black appliances still worked without a glitch, so it would be a while before Laura could remodel. One good feature about their 90s kitchen was the open-concept layout that incorporated the eating area and the family room, which had a big-screen TV, a second fireplace, and a sliding glass door that looked out at the vineyard. The landscape was kind of desolate right now, but that was normal this time of year in central Washington. It was off-season. Their wine-tasting room in a little Ralph Lauren-type rustic cottage near the main road was closed until February. Laura was very much alone there. Her husband had decided this was the perfect time for a research trip to some French and Italian wineries. Laura had wanted to go with him and have her mother come stay with the kids, but Sean had shot down the idea. He'd said the trip was all business, cheap hotels, a tight schedule, and lots of driving. He'd be gone 2 weeks. Laura wasn't quite convinced he was going to have a terrible time, driving around the French and Italian countryside, touring wineries, sampling wines, with bread and cheese, no doubt. Hell, it would have been like a second honeymoon for them. She really didn't understand why she couldn't have accompanied him. But she wasn't about to beg him to take her. It put a slight strain on things before he left. This was Sean's first extended trip since they'd moved here. Laura was still not used to the house, especially now with him gone. He was usually home during the day, in his study up on the 3rd floor, and in season people worked in the vineyard all day. Now the place seemed deserted and scary.